Yeah. Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Brian and Jim here with Drink a Beer and Play a Game, and welcome to another episode of the Power Hour Podcast.
Yes, hello everybody. Welcome to episode 308. Thank you for joining us tonight. Welcome to the Sleepy Cast because Brian and I are both a little tired little bitches.
Yeah, I had the case of the giggles because I was yawning in the middle of our original opening, and then I just laughed through the next piece.
Like three
Welcome,
times in a row.
everyone. Chamber Wambers. How you doing, Jim?
Brian, it is going. I'm coming off a very, very long week. Brian, I've learned, for once, it was not me who learned a lesson. We went to the Phillies game yesterday. We were recording this on June the 2nd. Happy Pride Month, everybody. And yeah, we went to the Phillies game, and my wife decided to take on the viral challenge, modified though, of the 9 innings, 9 hot dogs, 9 drinks challenge. So she didn't do the hot dogs because she just knew that that mix would not work for her. But oh, did she try the 9 drinks challenge, Bry?
I heard about her lack of success this morning and her
So
inability to do certain things.
she might have had a chance. She might have had a fighting chance if she went into the game completely dry. But you don't go to a baseball game, you don't go in dry. All right. Like tailgating is just part of the experience. So
Mm-hmm.
drinks were had beforehand. And even though she still put it up like 6, so a respectable showing. But
That was
that
an
was,
expensive game for you, Jim.
it's not going into details about that, Brian. Besides having to
Ooh,
get snacks and ice cream for the kiddo and everything like that, we don't have to go into details.
Jim, if I can recall my times at there, I think you're minimum paying $15 for a drink.
Bry, a 24 ounce, so we count them as two, but a
Okay.
24 ounce Surfside iced tea and lemonade comes in at the low, low price of $25 a piece at one Citizens Bank Park.
Jim,
Possibly 23 ish, but I think it's 25.
let's round it to 25. Now, I'm no mathematician, but I'm going to say at a minimum, you're over $3 for the total bill because you're at $75 just for those drinks alone.
For
And I
that alone,
know, I know you. Even if you went light, you must have had one sipperoo.
I had one beer because I was the old DD. So,
Yeah.
and yeah, even that was like probably 16, $18, whatever the hell it was. I mean, the goddamn, like, freaking ice cream's like $8. So yeah, not it's an expensive day. But yeah, she put up her fighting shot, and oh, did she pay for it the night last night? Did she pay for it this morning? The poor girl. The poor girl, she did a try, Bri, but though I do think I kind of want to give it a shot. I need one day where I don't have to be responsible for anyone. I'll
Nine drinks
strategize.
it's really, especially if you're just doing beer, it's really not that much.
Yeah, now
Granted,
the
I know the
problem
innings go faster. I
that's
do
what I
know.
was going to go into
Yeah.
because beforehand, it probably wouldn't have been too bad to pull this off. Now, there's always that, weighing your options about having to take too long and you're filling up, besides trying to get it done early. But there's a pitch clock now. Games last maybe 2.5 hours. So you're kind of under the gun. And if you're in a game where there's not a lot of scoring, oh, do those innings fly by quick.
Yeah, I think you'd have a bigger problem. Yeah, the finishing of the drinks, not necessarily the quantity of the drinks. I mean, you'd be drunk by third inning anyway.
Oh,
Somehow you
God, yeah.
still have no tolerance, which amazes me. I don't know how it's possible. But
Right. I am nothing but consistent. All right.
yeah, see, I'd be more worried that see, you had a perfect weather day yesterday. As it gets into summer and it's those sweltering ass, especially if you're in the sun and you were doing that challenge, I could see problems. I could see massive headaches and dehydration
Oh,
coming.
yeah. That, especially if you throw the hot dogs in there with it. Just
Oh
a
yeah.
nice little salt bomb with every drink. Ooh, lordy.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be an
And
interesting challenge.
besides the point that there's no more dollar dog night, so that's at least a $200 challenge right there. So
This is
if you
true.
fucking fail, that is a tough pill to swallow right there.
Jim is the real trick for you and me to just do it at home. We watch
I,
Phillies game, we get some beers and some dogs, and we have it at the comfort of our own home. Maybe we set up a TV outside so it looks like we at least are outside. But we could try that.
Yeah, I mean it's easy enough to set up a TV. I think this can be done. And if
Yeah.
you feel the pukies come along, you just turn to the side and let loose. Let nature take
That,
care of it
yeah. Come on. Be smart.
until your stupid dumbass dog comes out and rolls in it or something like that. So,
But Chambers, since you did go so light yesterday, what you having tonight?
well, Brian, I mentioned it's Pride Month, so I figured I'd bring it in with a fruity beer. Only seems right. So, I am drinking from the Aslan
Fuck.
Beer Company. Everyone got that? Was going to get that. All right, moving on. Their volcano sauce sour ale, brewed with blackberries, blueberries, milk sugar, and vanilla. 6% alcohol by volume. Let's see here. Where the hell was this brewed in? Oh, uh-oh, Virginia. Uh-oh. That might come in store later. It's a little foreshadowing there, Brian. But
Uh-oh.
we'll get into it. But yeah,
Mhm.
first thoughts on this beer. It's definitely good. It's one of those weird ones where like when you take your first couple sips, you get punched with the vanilla and the milk sugar. You're expecting a sour and that is not what you're getting. It's almost like more earthy with how much like milk sugar and vanilla is just mixing together at that point. But the
Mhm.
more sips you get in, the more it kind of, effervescerates within itself, whatever the language for that is. It gets a little bit more balanced. Bro, I've only been doing this for like 12 years, whatever. You think I'd learn a beer thing by now?
Effervescerate. Jesus Christ.
You look it up, bro. It'll be in there. It'll be in that
See, Jim,
dictionary one
when
day.
I thought you were gonna, I thought somehow you still had a couple of those gay beers left over from when we did that whole drinking challenge. So I
Oh,
thought you were gonna break one of those out.
no, the gay beers are all gone. I finished off those gay beers. I think I had like a six-pack left of that and the Ultra Rights. And then last year there was like a big community day thing at a local school where there's like, bubbles for the kids and like little activities and shit like that. So I met up with the neighbors and I'm like, yeah, I'll bring some beers with me. So of course, for a family-friendly children's event, I bring the conservative beer and the gay beers. And I'm just handing them out. Right. The people didn't hate it. They didn't hate the gay beer. They just looked at it and went, all right, we're doing this, I guess.
You're on multiple lists, Jim.
Right. It's either gay beer or no beer. What are you going to do in that situation?
Well, Jim, I am just going. I'm just trying to clear out now. I did have a couple random beers, and I was gonna go with a cider. It's foreshadowing for something. But I said no, fuck it. I gotta start with the beer. So, the Chamonix Creek, one of the few I've never had from them. It's called their Bachbuster. Get it? Like Blockbuster. It even
We're
has the little
Cockbuster.
store.
Pride Month.
I hate you. Uh, German style Bach, which is a style I really like, but it's 8%. And the danger in Bachs is this motherfucker is so smooth. Bachs have a very, if you know what a Marzen style tastes like, imagine that, but with a little bit more sugar to it. And it's so goddamn drinkable. There is no bitterness whatsoever. Even though it kind of feels like a heavy beer, the Bachs tend to be spring into summer beers. I really, really enjoy it, but man, I don't know if you're going through two or three of these, especially on a hotter day.
Mm.
Luckily, it's fairly cool today. Pretty damn good beer. Never really had anything from the Chamonix Creek I didn't enjoy. So yeah, so far I'm liking what I'm trying here, Chambers.
I will have to dabble. That looks pretty interesting.
Speaking of dabbling, though, what what you been gaming with? Because I feel like you've been slacking recently.
You know what, Bri? Well, this was a very busy week, so that was a little tough. Wait, what the fuck? Last week I gamed a lot, but yeah,
Bitch,
this
bitch,
week,
bitch, 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 bitch,
God
bitch.
damn, no credit ever. But no, still trying to make my way through X-Men 2: The Clone Wars. Bri, I can comfortably get to the very last level at this point, but the last level of this game, spoiler for a 30-some-year-old game, decides to give you a giant boss fight, followed up by fighting clones of all the playable characters,
Ooh,
right in a row, no checkpoints. And the
ooh.
game itself, you only have 9 lives with no continues to get through the entire goddamn thing. And
What are
it's
you, a
not an
cat?
easy. What's that?
I said, what are you, a cat?
What are you, cat? Cat. But well, I was not laying on my feet. That's for goddamn sure. But yes, infinitely frustrating because not only do you have the problem of the limited lives. Eventually, when you're fighting this fucking big boss before the clones, it's like anything else when you're doing it again and again. You just get bored. So then you start rushing, and then you start taking chances and taking more damage than you should be taking, which leads to quicker deaths with the clones. So, yes, I'm finding the strategy for that. I'm trying to find that right character that is a nice balance of everything. And then I'll record the footage, we'll record it, and god damn how we done that nightmare. It's a good game.
Jim,
It's a great game, don't get me wrong, but holy crap balls. It's so much trial and error and learning.
Jim, are you ready for me to tie together multiple jokes made already?
Go on.
You really should have been Kitty Pride,
That would have worked better
Cat,
if she was in the game. It's not
Gaze,
in the, it's not in the game.
X-Men.
It's
Come
not in
on.
the game. It
Come
doesn't
on.
work. Not
Pride
in the game.
Month. Pride Month, Jim. Come on.
Thank you,
That's why I
bro.
said you should have been able. You said you were a cat. 9 lives. X-Men. Think about it. Go fuck yourself.
I'll do that later. Daddy needs to sleep.
Damn it. Jim, I'm happy to report, and I think you'll be happy to know. Dusted it off back in Ocarina of Time.
Oh, really?
I you know
Did
that
you start
there was
fresh?
no. I said fuck that because not that I was far. I think I was whatever's a little bit beyond the what was it called, the Dodongo cave, like
Yeah.
very early on. Is
Mhm.
that what it's called, Dodongos?
Yeah. So you were still Kid Link. Yeah. You didn't get the
Still
Jabu
Kid
Jabu's belly
Link.
yet, right?
Yeah, so that's what I was heading toward Zora's domain. And day one, I turned it on and I was like doing that. And then real quickly, I was like, fuck, like, what did, like, other than knowing I needed to go to Zora's domain, I was like, do I need stuff? So turned it off. I was like, fuck. You know what? I said, I'm not going to kill myself by trying to over explore. Let me look up like a guide just to see where I actually need to go, see if I'm missing anything. And sure enough, because oh, that's what it was. I did get to Zora's domain, and I go inside the temple, and King Zora is sitting there, fucking moping on that waterfall, and I just keep trying to talk to him, and he keeps talking about his daughter's missing. It's like what the fuck? Like I know this is where I need to go, and then I had to look up the guide. It's like, oh, you need the message in a bottle. How do you get that? You got to go do this diving mini game. And then, so I was like, fuck, there's clearly things I need to do. So looked up the guide, did all that, went through that King Zora or whatever his name is. By the way, that
Right.
fucking,
How'd you like the set? How'd you like him moving side to side?
I
Eh,
was just a
eh, eh.
Jesus Christ. That, it was funny for like 2 seconds. And I'm like, oh no, this is still going. This is still going. And I'm like, and you can't skip this. So then, go through there, get into, was it Jabu Jabu?
Yep.
Go in his mouth, do that dungeon. Like I said with their first dungeon in the Deco Tree or whatever, I like the design. I like the boss fights. But there's always some little shit that makes me annoyed. And Jim, you want to guess what annoys me in that fucking dungeon?
Everything looks the same.
No, I can get over that. That you have to fucking carry the princess, the Zora princess, that chick that you just have
Oh,
to carry around. And a chick that's great in water, you can't put her in water because then she respawns back at the fucking beginning. So didn't know that. So I had to like, I would be getting somewhere and then, whoop, she's gone. Where the fuck did she go? Oh, and then she's yelling at you and talking shit. And she's saying, yeah, I'll let you carry me. Once again, getting through that, but then getting the boomerang made so many more enemies easier. Like I was like, oh, cool, this would have been way easier to deal with stuff. So once I got the boomerang, then I did read like they're like, oh, you can do more collectibles. Then I spent an easy hour or more just doing collectibles that I had missed previously, plus stuff that I was ignoring, like all the gold scatillas and all that, and the
yep.
heart pieces. So I've exhausted everything now that I can go back to the castle with all the elements, I guess, to whatever, probably get to the next part of the story. And then I think that's when all the temples really start. So, there was a part of me that was like, okay, I'm getting into it. I can kind of like it. There's still plenty of annoyances. I think the little things like the house with the scotillas where like the family is like encased in the spider things. I'm like, that's fucking creepy. I
Yep.
still don't know what the fuck that first guy is when you go into the village and it's nighttime, and he's like, everyone thinks I'm hideous or ugly. He looks like Nosferatu. I don't know what the fuck that dude is, but he's creepy as shit too. And then I was like, to help me get more into it, I started watching reviews of like why people love it so much, and I gotta say, they're all the goddamn same, but it was just enough for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna stick through it. So I am committed. That's gonna be the game for sure. I go through and beat. I'm just not gonna be afraid to use a guide because I can't spend a million hours on it. I just can't. But it'll at
Right.
least tell me
Get
where I
sucked
need to
into the
go.
world and adventure.
You want me to get sucked in. So yeah,
Yes.
that's it. I've just been focusing in on that, and yeah, and then I did play a little bit of DBD with the Five Nights at Freddy's, of course. Logan wanted to see me do that. Um, so yeah, that's basically been it. But like you said, as soon as I'm done Legend of Zelda, as soon as you're done filming or getting the footage for X-Men 2, we'll be able to record X-Men 1 and 2. And then as soon as I'm done Zelda, I'll probably start in on Max Payne so I can start getting that footage for our final review. Thanks to once again you awesome patrons and Chambers. What questions we have this week?
Questions you can put in over at patreon.com/drink a beer and play a game for as little as $2 a month. You can ask a question that we will answer in each and every single one of these Power Hour podcasts. First up, was actually a late entry from last week, so here we go. From Bird Retinas. What are your go-to snacks for a long road trip?
Having just done my long road trip to West Virginia, I don't know why chocolate covered pretzels, the Hershey's ones, like I always grab those. Um, or like I'm pretty basic, like Doritos or something like that. Now I will like you and I every time we go to DC or go like too many games or do something, not that they're long, you gotta just stop by Wawa, get yourself a hoagie, your favorite chips, maybe a pretzel. Like those are usually my rotation of like bigger snacks. But yeah, I try to keep it simple. I try to think what's not going to make me have to pull over and shit. Like what's enough to give me sustenance, but not make me actually have to take a shit. And so it's got to be in that range.
Yeah, same here. I'm actually surprised by your picks because I'm like, all right, sticky fingers, all right, sticky fingers. That would just drive me fucking nuts eating those things during a long drive. Like
What?
Doritos or chocolate covered pretzels. Like eventually they start to melt, get a little sticky, little film on your hands.
I don't know how you eat. I mean, I just quickly, I it's a one bite thing, Jim. So I'm not like I'm not a fucking squirrel. So they don't have time to melt in my hands. I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Savoring. That's what I'm doing. But yeah, you know what? I'm a Wawa guy too, so it's like I'll do like a cheese stick or get one of those like, cheese filled pretzel kind of deals or like a little thing of like, chicken bites and crap like that, something you can just pop in the mouth real fast. Again, as we all know with me, I'm a celebrated pooper, so I have to keep it nice and bland for my long drives. I actually have me probably a 7 hour drive coming up in a couple of weeks when I go down to visit some friends in North Carolina. So yeah, that'll be that's a bitch of a drive. So yes, I will have to be keeping it nice and bland. We have the tackle box filled with snacks for the kiddo, which has, Slim Jims and fucking Swedish Fish and other gummies and Oreos and all other kinds of good crap. So I can always sneak some stuff off her if I need it. But nah, for the most part, I try to eat as little as humanly possible on those things.
Yeah. And I will say if it's a morning trip, it's different. Dunkin' or Wawa, breakfast sandwich, hash browns, always go to. So keep it really simple.
Somehow, the last two times we've driven down to North Carolina, we've wound up pulling off at the same exit to poop at the same food lion. Just not by planning, but just by happenstance. It's like, wait a
I
second,
told
I've been here
you,
before.
I think I know I talk about this with my wife and some of my other friends, but like I fully believe your body has a proxy shit. Like if you ever had to shit driving home, the closer you get, the closer you start feeling like you have to poop.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you have a place that you feel more comfortable, I'm the same way as far as like with the 5.5 hour drive I do for work. There's always that same point where all of a sudden, like, doesn't matter how much liquid I have. I know I'm gonna have to feel like I need to pee once I get near this one sheets. That's just so happens to be like a stopping point. So yeah, I believe that for sure.
Yep. Next up from Randall K. Dickman. So, here are some themed Dickman dilemmas for you, gents. Hope you like them. Use them for the next 3 shows if you like. I wanted to reply to your message in time, so yeah, he left 3 here. We'll just do one at a time for the next couple weeks.
Okay.
First up, it's called Beer Pong Penance. You're at a charity beer pong tournament. You have just choked in the finals, but the prize is a year's supply of your favorite beer. Or you can go double or nothing by speedrunning the hardest level in the most frustrating retro game. No save states, no cheats. So the dilemma: do you risk eternal shame and heartbreak for a shot at beer glory, or do you walk away with the knowledge that the trophy and beer was in reach if only you'd picked up a controller? Explain your choice and the game you'd bet it all on. Aren't you kind of losing
So
anyway, though?
yeah, I was gonna say feel like he means you either lose or you go double or nothing attempting to speedrun a retro game.
Yeah. Because that's what I think it's going to, but it's like lacking that, or you can do this kind of deal. Because the other thing is just like you already choked in the finals. So
Yeah, so I'm going to give it its own. When they were on, that same thing happened. Remember, they gave it. I'm like, wait, I think
Brady,
you didn't.
we love the dilemmas. You got to vet these a little bit. You got to add in a few more details and make sure that they make sense.
All right, so you lost the beer pong tournament, and if you had won, you'd get a year supply of your favorite beer. So you lost. Now your only possibility is to go double or nothing by completing a speed run of a retro game of your choosing, but with no continues and no pauses. Ooh. I guess so. When he said speed run, I think he just means one life hit. And
I guess, yeah.
yeah, ooh. But you see, you can't pick a bitch game. Like you can't be like Streets of Rage 2. That's too easy. Like, so you gotta pick a harder game that
Yeah, like this mentioned like the
I
turbo tunnel, basically, like something like that. Or even like when there was like infamously hard levels. I
don't
mean,
know
either way,
what.
I'm so if the options are walk away with the trophy or go double or nothing with like the hard thing for a lifetime supply of beer, I'll just go for the trophy. I need some wins. So real quick, I'm just gonna say I'm gonna bitch out and just go with my trophy and have some prizes, enjoy whatever my winnings are. I don't need to gamble away anymore. But it is tempting. There is always that gambler's fallacy in that back of my brain, Brian.
Yeah, now that you're saying that, that made the whole question confuse me even more. Because it's like, I guess if you have the option, walk away with your lifetime beer or just your trophy. Um, ooh, I like to gamble, and I like to pull off bullshit.
In that you
I
do.
guess I guess it would be completely dependent on what is the game. Like if he had picked a game for us, it would be easier. So without knowing, I'll go trophy unless I know what the game is. Now, if it's a
Well,
game I think I'm even semi competent in, I'll try the game.
all right. So let's just say use the example from the penance, the turbo tunnel. You have to do that level. Pick it up, no practice. Got to beast it out.
Ooh, that's a fucking tough. Ooh. And when he says double or nothing, I guess I don't know what that means. Like
I
you
guess
already
you
get
don't
a
win the
lifetime
tournament.
supply of beer.
Yeah, I guess that would have to be the incentive for if you do it. So maybe you just get like a case of beer and a trophy if you win. We got to
You
we
gotta
got to
bet
we got
there's
to
a
work this.
little bit. Um I'd say fuck it. I would try it. You know me. A
Yep,
double or nothing.
sounds good to me. And last up, yeah, and yeah, I'm just gonna bitch out. I'll take my trophy. I'll have a trophy for once. I didn't grow up with a lot of trophies, so a trophy would mean more for me. Next up from Todd Howard sucks. How long do you think you would survive in the zombie apocalypse if it was 28 days later style? Also, thoughts on 28 years later?
Um, that is a rough fucking universe to try and survive in. Here's where I would do better with. I mean, Jim, you know the armaments I have. You
Uh huh.
know the amount of supplies I have.
Yep.
The only good thing about those type of infected is you don't need headshots. Like a regular body shot would do to put them down. Yes, they are fast moving, so I would feel more confident that I could put down more. Now, if they needed headshots and they're moving that fast, that's annoying. Body
Right.
shots, uh, 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 eventually, you're probably going to get got, but I think I could survive decently well, at least for a little bit. Um, 28 years later, I'm definitely going to watch for sure. Uh, I don't know how I feel about it because I'm not sure where the plot goes, like that little island they're on or whatever. Obviously, at the end of 28 weeks later, it always expands. So I don't know if it's the whole world, if it's all Europe at this point. I don't know. Both movies, though, I enjoyed the shit out of, and I honestly I don't know which one I like better. I know you like 28 weeks later better because of that opening.
One of the
Um,
best openings in the history of cinema.
I mean, one was so great because of the camera techniques, of the feeling of isolation, Cillian Murphy, all the whatever.
The concept
But
alone, too. Yeah.
yeah, amazing. Second one though, just better filmed, better. I guess you use the word choreography, bigger set pieces. Like there was just more to it with an interesting take on it. Still
I think
dark.
I think two is a better zombie movie, where the first one was a better like survival horror kind of movie.
Yeah. So World, of course, I'm definitely gonna see it. Probably even see it in theaters. Is that coming out what, Friday?
I forget. We gotta look into that.
But yeah, no, that is whenever I used to do the hypotheticals, that and like Return of the Living Dead are the two universes I would never want to be stuck in as far as zombies or infected people. Cause I'm like, fuck, they're fast movers. Like, come on, that's not fair. It's already bad enough when the whole world is dead or it can infect you. Now they move fast, like fuck. And in that case, like a drip of blood, like that poor dad gets in fucking one, you're
Yep.
like, come on. So yeah. Oh, June 20th it comes out. So yeah, Jim, how are you surviving?
Before I get into that, unfo- what a missed opportunity for this movie to not come out during COVID times. I just gotta put that out there. Like you put this out back in like 2022 when everything's just opening back up. You want to get some people real uncomfortable. That would have been the time to do it. But yeah, I'm excited for the movie. I definitely want to go see it. Maybe we'll coordinate to go see it in theaters together because it's a franchise I love. As far as how long I'll live, I would give me about off 23 seconds. I'm not handy. I'm not athletic. I don't have any survival skills. And I'm the fat guy in every horror movie who gets killed first. So I've resigned myself to my fate.
I like the question though.
I'm a realist, Brian. What can I do? What can I say? But yes, great question. Great questions all around this week. Thanks again, once again, to all the support out there from everybody. Really appreciate it. If you're new to the page, head on over to Patreon, or not Patreon, well, Patreon too. Get those
Yeah,
questions in, but also head on over to YouTube, Podbean, or Apple. Leave those comments, leave those stars, leave those subscriptions and follows. Tell your friends, and you can do can and will help the page, including helping the page. Go on over to ghettogamer.net. Use our code DBPG. Get 20% off your first order. And yes, great selection of NES and Super NES games over there. And while you're there, if you need some help, you need to learn how to be a better gamer, head on over to Skillshare, where the online learning class curriculum, where you can sign up for one class, use our code DBPG30, and get 30% off your first year of one class.
yeah. No, thank you guys. Make sure check out the links. As I said many, many times, especially Ghetto Gamer. If you're looking to start your collection, it's a great starting point. And thank you guys for all the continued support.
Yep. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys. All right, Chambers. Well, we like to do Gamers Mad a lot, but you have something up here this time for Drinkers Mad. And we've covered a few times where beer boys, they can get angry for sure. Before we get into that, in honor, not honor, in spirit of this, I just went from my Bachbuster beer, with delicious beer, to my wife had an Angry Orchard variety pack, and this one's blackberry lemonade. So it's a hard cider, but blackberry lemonade. So let's see how this tastes. It's very sweet. Kind of tastes like lemonade and cider mixed together. I don't know how I feel about it yet, Jim. It's very, very sweet. It's like drinking candy.
Brian, you kind of had that for the people at home listening on audio. Brian just kind of had a whiplash face in that moment of
Yeah.
silence right there.
But I'm doing this because a person that has definitely sparked some anger in the beer boys is this 9 millimeter SMG, who basically just had a screen cap of people arguing. And he said, beer is disgusting. Cheap beer, expensive beer, all of it. Cider is delicious. And the screen cap, which will be here below, says, from Hen Stomper, hard cider was invented when someone decided to make beer that tastes good instead of bad. Then Impossible Package said, stupid fucking post. People have been making beer since before they even knew how to write. And you think that they didn't like the way it tastes? Hen Stomper then says, damn, all that time and it still tastes really bad. Huge L, to be honest. It's all so stupid. Number one, Hen Stomper, your avatar is a furry. You lose by default with that. 9 millimeter SMG goes on to then talk about how he'd rather have a Mike's Hard Strawberry Lemonade, which tells me a lot about this guy. And then I click on his profile. And wouldn't you know, he's like an edgelord. He's just one of those guys. And whether he's saying this shit for real or he's doing it with knowing it's just going to piss people off, I honestly can't tell. Neither one would surprise me based on how he tweets. But Chambers, what is your take on this? I'm very curious.
Uh, I mean, my take at first is he's probably not super entirely wrong. Just because, like, I try to, like, when you look at first, I was like, well, that's fucking stupid. Let's see what kind of pussy this guy is. And I'm like, all right, doubling down with the Mike's Hard Lemonade. But then you see the replies back to him where, uh, people just calling him gay. One guy goes really deep into this thing. Steve Savage. This is called being stuck in the yummy phase. The first phase of life that children are in, where they like things like candy, soda, chicken fingers, etc. Most adult palates mature into liking things like coffee, beer, sushi, cigars, etc. You, sir, have the tastes of a toddler. And he goes on to be like, well, I like bourbon and I like sushi and sashimi. And I spent a fortune on Wagyu, and I think beer tastes absolutely disgusting. And it's a lot of this back and forth. And there's some more, calm takes where people are like, just say you're a casual drinker and leave it at that. And I think that's fine. Like, maybe it's just because I'm old at this point. I don't care what the fuck anyone drinks. And there's so many options out there. And even by doing this page, like, obviously not everyone likes beer. And I can't honestly say that I've tasted beer outside of like the macro lights, where the first time I had it, I didn't go, oh God. Like, I used to despise IPAs. I used to despise Guinness of all things, which is super light to me now. I used to despise, what do you call it? Fucking coffee. I used to hate coffee. So it's like, yeah, these are all things I got used to. And yeah, I do enjoy them a lot now, but it's like, for someone who doesn't take the time to really like jump into it for whatever reason out there, I don't think it's that bad of a take. I don't think you really have to be like in the yummy phase. I think you can just be, have a normal palate until you destroy it. So I don't know. I think it's perfectly fine to not really like beer. I
No,
don't care.
I agree it's fine to not like beer, but to say beer is disgusting, fine statement. Cheap beer, expensive beer, all of it. Cider is delicious. I'm sorry, that is a yummy face thing to say. That is the same as if he were to just say, like,
But Brian, I like chicken tendies. All right, God damn it, I like my chicken tendies and I like my sody pops.
you and you can like that. But you know what? This is one of those things, right? It's everything. Uh Taste is subjective. But any person, the first time you drink, if you gave them the most expensive bourbon, scotch, whatever in the world, and they took a sip, they'd be like, oh my God, that's fucking terrible. It's like you kind of have to get through the shitty stuff to really appreciate good stuff. Like, no shitting you, like, you can give me any bourbon whiskey, what scotch, it doesn't matter. That stuff, when it's the better it is, it goes down like water for me. Like, there's not even a light burn. Now, if you give me a tequila or a rum, because I don't drink that stuff, I can still enjoy it. Ooh, but it burns a little more. Like I can't handle it like I can whiskey and bourbon. Like I can still drink it, but like I don't get that same enjoyment. Same with beer. Like you and I can go back to a shitty beer and we might have some nostalgia for it, but we've had enough good beer to know like I know what a good IPA is when I have a shitty IPA. Like you can do that. That's why having this cider, I can see a lot of girls or people who had never really drank going, "Ooh, it's sweet." It's like drinking a soda. It's like drinking whatever. And I'm someone who I've brewed cider with somebody. I've had great, really expensive ciders. I love ciders. But to shit on beer is like such a weird take, and I feel like guys only do that who've probably had the shittiest of beers. And when he says expensive beer, he's probably like Heineken. Like I'm basing this a lot on how he tweets with other shit, and I think, like I said, I think he's just trying to be an edgelord. And then he tried to go in with saying he anyone who says I'd rather have Mike's Hard Strawberry Lemonade, I'm like, yeah, he probably is in a yummy phase. And I don't care that you're in that. But it's kind of like I'm not going to shit on people who like tequila because I like whiskey. Be like, tequila's disgusting. Whiskey's the only way. Like, that's stupid, right? He's got the same take as a vegan, is how I feel. Like, beer's meat, cider's not. It's bad. Like, I don't know. I think it's a corny take. I think the fact that he engaged so much with people leads me even stronger to believe he probably did it for this exact reason.
Oh, I mean, it is just an engagement bait account. So,
Yeah. But we've said many times, we've had many people on here who do not like beer, don't drink anymore. There's a million reasons, right? Like, I've never defended beer and tried to sell it on. If someone says they don't like beer, I usually try to get them to try something sweet or a stout or something that doesn't taste. When people say they don't like the taste of beer, they don't like the taste of hops. So my guess is this guy probably hasn't had a lot of Doppelbocks, a lot of Bocks, a lot of lagers, a lot of things that aren't heavy in hops. He probably just hates the bitterness of hops. Is going to be my guess. But yeah, I don't know. It's like any kind of taste, Jim. It's if he was a guy that said, I don't know, what's some of your favorite bands besides Rush? If he said,
oh, Primus, Pixies, like Pantera, a lot of peas
all
out
right,
of
if
nowhere.
if he
Smashing
said
Pumpkins.
if he said all those bands are terrible, but Nickelback is amazing, it would be the same reaction from music people as beer people.
Right. Yeah, that'd be more like, yeah, if he said, I like, oh, fuck, what is that band that everyone's shitting on right now? Not Ghost, fucking, I can't think of it. All right, well, screw it. Doesn't matter. But yeah, there's like this, artsy-ish metal band, real poppy though, that everyone's like kind of shitting on right now. And if they said, fine, I'll go back to Nickelback. Yeah, I like them and I don't like the Smiths. Then the music snobs would be like, be that
Yeah,
kind
it's
of
the
deal.
same deal. Yeah.
It's like, I'm just jaded, I think, from doing this show and the internet for 10 years, where if anyone cares too much about their hobby and like defends it as like their personality, I just automatically I'll side with the other guy with the hot take, basically. I'm like, you know what? Nah, let him piss you off. Fuck you guys.
Jim, but you role reverse too much because you hate everything, but then you support the guy that hates on the thing, even if well, unless it's something you like, then you double down.
Right, it's double reverse inverse contrarianism, Bry. What a wonderful way to live.
Well, Jim, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but we have a little article here that may scare some folks, but I'm here to tell you, shouldn't scare you as much as the article reads, because what have they discovered, or I should say, detected in a lot of U.S. beers, Jim?
PFAS detected in U.S. beers in a new study, raising safety concerns. Researchers point out to a contaminated water after forever chemicals were found in all but one of 23 sampled beers. So, for those of you out there who do not know and who could not know what PFAS is, well, PFAS is per and polyfluoroalkyl substances, and what they basically are it's a combination of like 15,000 different chemicals and like sciency mishmash of shit put together, and it's to make things stick proof, waterproof, It's used in a lot of cosmetics, nonstick cookware, carpets, and most famously and most dangerously for a lot of things, it was used in fire suppressant foam at army and bases and stuff like that, Air Force bases, as planes are taking off and landing. So why is this bad? It is bad because a lot of those are near bodies of water, because in case you missed a runway, you'll probably survive better if you fly into a body of water than you will a wall. So, for years and years and years, people would just spray the shit down. Nature would take its course, whether it's by water or by hosing it off. All that shit goes into the bodies of water, and after time, it eventually seeps its way into the watersheds and the groundwater. Seeps its way, famously, in a lot of areas, actually close to us, into production wells that are used for public water consumption by a lot of townships. So, this is like for my body of work, this is a huge thing right now. Like EPA is huge into basically mandating that anyone coming off any kind of water supply has to install some kind of PFAS facility to treat it. Because we've had other stories before about other kinds of plastics that are just everywhere. Like, how we all know that we all have little plastic beads in our balls at this point from all the plastics in the world and microplastics. This is another on the list. And it's fun because it's a leading cause of cancer and birth defects and all other kinds of good stuff. Now that the science lesson is over, back to the booze. So, like it says, so they sampled 24 beers and only one of them came back. They don't mention any of them in this article by name. I guess that was part of the study. And yes, the levels detected were as high as 40 parts per trillion. And you think, oh, parts per trillion, that's not too bad. That's like nothing. Well, no, but then you read and you see that normal drinking water limits for many PFAS compounds are between 4 to 10 parts per trillion. So you are at least 4 to 10 times as much more PFAS microplastic compounds in your water, in your beer, than you would, that's technically safe to have. So,
Mm-hmm.
yes, the largest levels were detected in beer brewed in the Cape Fear River Basin of North Carolina, where the environment has been thoroughly contaminated by PFAS, largely stemming from a Chemer's chemical plant in Fayetteville. Uh, that sucks because I've had a lot of craft beer from North Carolina after all my trips to buddies' houses. And these buddies are also huge into the craft beer scene. So that's a little concerning. So, yeah.
But Jim, this is so. I want to take a step back though.
All right.
Just like radon, that a lot of people still don't know. If you're anywhere on the East Coast, especially, chances are your basement or your house has radon at some level. If you get tested, you'll figure it out. PFAS, PFAS, or PFOS, which is more specific
PFOAs are
version.
the really bad ones. That's the one you
Yeah,
definitely don't want.
but either ones are not good. And unfortunately, bottled water can have it because it can literally come from the plastic itself.
Mm-hmm.
Your drinking water, your whatever. That's why I had to pay an ungodly amount of money. And I ended up, the limit was still safe, but I wanted to get rid of any of it. So I have a reverse osmosis as well as two carbon filters, as well as another filtration system for my water for that very reason, right? Like it's unless you're going crazy, and even if your township says, yeah, we filter all that shit out, if you test it, chances are you probably have some in your water. So it's one of those things like Jim was joking about, but not really. Microplastics are the new thing. It was lead before, it was Teflon, it was asbestos. Like every generation has something. Microplastics and PFAS is what our generation's going to deal with for a very long time, unfortunately. So, yes, it's concerning these particular beers from that region were higher, but I would venture to say a lot of the things you probably drink, unless it's like the major chains, is my guess. If they're using local water sources, it's probably got some. So, don't want to stress you out too much about beer, but yeah, isn't it ironic, Jim? Back in the olden days, they drank beer because the water was so sketchy that that was the safest way to drink, and now anything with water in it, period, is a little fucked up.
Yep. Lucky us. That is the price we pay for industrialization, Brian. But if you want to be a little bit safer and you know, make yourself feel a little bit better, two of the international brands that were done, one from Mexico and one from the Netherlands, showed no to low levels of the chemicals. So maybe if you didn't go through the same industrial revolution that the United States did, or the same kind of shit, might be a little safer out there. You never know. So
Yeah.
spend a little more in update than if you could be a little bitch about it.
Well, Jim, I mean,
And but like jokes aside, like PFAS is a big deal. Like during the Biden administration, there was a huge like EPA was like making mandates like you have to have a study done within 6 months. You have to start implementing within 2 years and shit like that. So with Trump in, like he's famously pushing aside a lot of the environmental crap and the EPA's power and stuff, but they're still not going away from PFAS treatment. Now they extended your time to like look into it and stuff like that, but it's still a thing that they didn't go like, oh, that's bullshit. They're like, oh yeah, this is actually serious. So it's still a thing that's out there, just to give you an idea.
my suggestion, if you're a homeowner, even if not, even if you're in an apartment, I don't care where you are, to get your water tested, I think it was like $200, maybe three. I forget exactly how much. If it's something that worries you, get your water tested. See, it's again, you can do reverse osmosis for that and get your radon tested too. That's another thing people ignore all the time. And
Yep.
then like so many other things that give you cancer, just get shit like that tested. There's nothing else you can really do.
You're fucked. We're all fucked. It doesn't matter. Everything will kill us.
Jim, some would say the success of the US could just be a curse. There are many curses out there, Jim. Maybe one of the most famous curses, possibly, is the Madden curse. And as you and I have talked probably at great length to a lot of people's annoyance,
Fuck them.
our beloved Eagles, you know, they locked it in this year and the best play, fuck it. I'm just gonna say ever of a running back. I don't care if anyone likes it or not. Saquon Barkley, his classic reverse hurdle is what I'm calling it, is the cover of Madden 26. And the question that you and I both, I ended up seeing you tweet about it, but as soon as I saw it, I felt the same way. I was like, oh dear God, the Madden curse, which I actually went ahead, Jim, and pulled up every Madden cover. And by an article that I'm going to put in here from CBS Sports to determine, starting with 2001 all the way to today, they went through every cover. I'm not going to do that here. Now, granted, there's like six that disprove the curse, Tom Brady being one of them twice.
Yeah, Patrick Mahomes
uh,
had a big one.
Patrick Mahomes. There's Lamar Jackson. They said not
Quarterbacks
cursed.
have been mostly fine. Right, how have the
Yes.
running backs been?
Well, let's put it this way, Jim. In 2025, 49ers running back Christian McCaffrey, my first pick in fantasy football the following year.
Eh.
Did he play, Jim? I can't remember.
He
You know
played
what I do remember?
eventually.
I do remember, Jim, and no, he was cursed to shit. And to your point, yes, running backs especially and wide receiver. I mean, yeah, if you're not a quarterback, even the quarterbacks were pretty cursed. But yeah, it's a little worrisome. We were hoping for a repeat this year, and if anyone's gonna break it, Jim, I put it on the guy that did that fucking move. I mean, granted, it is the coolest cover. Not even because I'm an Eagles fan, because every other cover is generally just the player. Like nothing is going to be cooler than that image. So obviously, I have it up if you're watching the video. Um, I don't care who you are, even if you hate the Eagles, you got to appreciate that.
There's actually ESPN or EA, one of them did a behind the scenes of them because this isn't from the actual game that it took place in.
Yeah.
They recreated it. And like as they're recreating it, like it looks like he's almost levitating for like a second. I don't know how he does it. It's fucking wild. But yeah,
Yeah.
look up that video of like them, the behind the scenes of it. It's just crazy. And Saquon Barkley, athletic is all help. So
And
yes,
I don't even
please.
know if I like it's tough because somebody who doesn't know this might actually think he's jumping over the back of the player. Like they might not appreciate the fact that that was him turning around and jumping in the air. Like You know what I'm saying? Like the way his hand is positioned, it almost looks like he was like launched himself off the back of a player and jumped over him.
Yeah, I know. It's so hard to describe. And you know what? I'm going to yeah, I'm putting a link to the behind the scenes in here now. So everyone watching, no matter where you're watching this fine podcast, you can see it yourself and just gaze at perfection. Running back perfection right there.
Jim, I don't know if it's the Eagles fan in us that as soon as we have success, we're waiting for that shoe to drop. And as soon as I saw this, my heart did a little like, no,
Bry,
no.
it's called Negadelphia for a reason, Bry. And we've got good reason.
I mean,
We've had a lot of sure things that we're not so sure.
I
For
assumed it was going to be him or Jalen on the cover. I thought for sure it was one or the other. Given this play, this makes more sense, but still. Yeah. I mean, the last time we had an Eagle was McNabb. And how'd that turn out for us, Jim? That was that
ah,
'06.
that was the '06 cover, which means it came out in '05. And yeah, McNabb got hurt super early on that year, and we didn't even make the playoffs. The year after going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. So, all right. We got another Eagle on a cover. Let's fingers crossed it doesn't the curse we break it, Jim.
We're screwed.
Here's what I would love to know, and somebody made a comment on this. How many people saw this and right away said, "Fuck, I need to change my fantasy pick."
Oh, I'm sure.
Like I actually wonder how much the Madden cover affects the pick rate in fantasy football.
God, there has to be some kind of statistic out there.
I'm sure there is. But yeah, Saquon, bring it home to us again. So I did like some people wrote underneath, they said, yes, the Jaguars made the cover.
Yeah, I know, right?
So yeah, well, we'll just have to see what happens, Chambers.
Oh, I'm sure we will one way or another. But speaking of seeing, Bry, what do you see with? You see with your eyes. And what do you do with your eyes? You look at things, and sometimes you see similarities between things. Now, this is a gamer's mad for the week, Brian, because the gamers, oh, were they perturbed by this tweet? This comes to us from good old beat 'em ups Woodhawker himself. It says, call me crazy, but this packaging is far too similar and a bit confusing for the general public. And he put next to each other a box for the Switch 2, a box for the Switch OLED. And they're both red. They both show the console. They both have the same font. Both have the same symbol. One's got a 2. One's a little bigger. Bry, what do you think?
I'm agreeing with him, considering we watched a lawsuit for fucking Stone Brewing, which has gargoyles on its goddamn bottles, saying that a can that just says the word stone is too similar for the general public, which is a completely different color in cans, not bottle. Like, so far from being close that a judge said, you're right. That could confuse the general public. I am 100% agreeing with this. Yes, there is a big fucking two on there. But I'm sorry. Your eye is not drawn to the two, it's drawn to the console. And side by side, those controllers look exactly the same. Exactly, except for the little two once again. And you got the console behind it. This is some of the laziest fucking packaging I've ever seen. And yes, of course it's different enough. And yes, it would be very, very tough. But I will put money down that unsuspecting parents this summer will go to a store thinking they're buying a Switch 2, see this other one, and just get it. So he is not wrong. And the fucking Nintendo nerds, which are so quickly to gobble up their Nintendo balls and put them in their mouth and be like, chew one there. Like, yeah, no, there is a
Happy Pride.
difference. Of course. Oh, damn it. I didn't say they were male, Jim, did I? Could have been females.
Bry, they don't game. He's-
But yeah, I he's not of course there's fucking differences, right? Like but tell me that's not some lazy shit. Like if you saw any other console next to each other, fuck, if you saw the Wii to the Wii U, it was different enough packaging. If you saw fucking Xbox, whatever, next to another Xbox. They're so different. This is could you just not have put the same goddamn those fucking Joy Cons look exactly the same. I'm sorry, like the same exact red, and I know red's a thing for the Switch, but like, fuck, man, like it's so goddamn similar. So I think he caught way too much shit from nerds out there. Yeah, to call him blind and whatever, like I just get Nintendo's balls out of your mouth. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I think it's too easy of a tweet to immediately dunk on. And I just put second where I was like, well, one says two, but I was like, oh, wait a second. And my mind immediately went, thanks to the page, to good old, Keystone and Stone Brewing. But you just actually made a great point with the Wii and the Wii U, Bri, because the people, the general public had a big criticism is they couldn't tell the difference between the Wii and the Wii U. They had no idea the Wii U was a different thing. And to your point, the packaging on the boxes is 100% different between the Wii and the Wii U and how they tried to sell it. But the console looked the same and had some of the same lettering, and that's all it took. So the people defending him the most are just like, oh, everyone just going, oh, anyone dunking on him never worked retail. And yeah, you can't discount the common dummy out there. So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, you can say things about Wood if you want. He's taken flack before for being a Nintendo show and shit like that, but he is not wrong when it comes to this.
No. And honestly, the saving grace here, if that box would have been the same fucking size, there would have
Oh
been no
God,
saving grace. The box being different is the only thing. But here's the reality. They are going to be stacked close to each other. And because the Switch 2 is going to be sold out, they're going to see signs for Switch 2. Like, it's the parents, the ones that know nothing about gaming. They'll be like,
Grandma,
uh,
dear sweet
yeah.
Grandma, meaning well. Yep.
So, yeah, I don't know who you are, Woodhawker. You don't deserve the shit you caught, and everyone else, man, stop defending fucking Nintendo to your death like this. They don't care about you. They're not going to retweet you. Shut up.
Bri, if we want to defend Nintendo, why don't we keep defending Nintendo, Bri? It's been a big week for Nintendo defense over here. So, the original tweet comes out from Stealth 40K saying a Switch 2 unit is already out in the wild. It is apparently locked behind a day one patch and can't be used. Saying basically it's a very nice paperweight until June 5th, which by the time this episode comes out, your Switch 2s will be fine. Getting one early won't benefit you at all. All it does is cause Nintendo to investigate what retailer this was or how it happened. And this caused a whole plethora of shitstorm. And one guy who was very quick and vocal in defending Nintendo was this guy, Nintendo Prime, who I never heard of before. That his recent snafu with all of gamers, he vocally came out and defended it and said it's a good thing because Nintendo had a lot of leaks. So it's pro consumer to stop the leaks, which makes absolutely no fucking sense. But he did have a follow up tweet saying, starting to hear murmurs that no, Switch 2 isn't a brick without an update. It's being widely misrepresented. It's just backwards compatibility that doesn't work. It'll still play physical Switch 2 games right now. That's presently waiting full confirmation. Certainly changes the narrative if true. It also means this had nothing to do with stopping leaks nor anything to do with Nintendo trying to control you. Merely that an OS made in October that last year that wasn't finished yet for backwards compatibility purposes. So I honestly at this point, like, I don't have a Switch 2 in my hand. I'm not going to have one at launch. So, one, I don't know, and two, I don't really care. But I think the greater thing that came from this whole back and forth was the argument on whether Nintendo had to right to brick consoles until launch day, basically, using software. Because people are like, well, yeah, it's their console and it's their right. And then people are going, yeah, but it's a bad thing that Nintendo has the ability to do this. And they're all going, yeah, but it'll just be patched out and later revisions won't come with it on there. And it's like, yeah, but
That's not the point. Yeah, like that. It's 100%. You can put any caveat you want. If you play full devil's advocate, yeah, Nintendo can and will do whatever the fuck they want. Should they have this ability? No, because yeah, at any point, what could stop them from doing the kill switch that we all worry about with all digital games? And we already have enough concerns with Nintendo Switch 2. Our games just keypads or like, if they're not AAA games, all the shit we've talked about with concerns of this, like, are they killing physical media further? What's going to stop them from charging you to keep your Switch 2 running if it outruns its life cycle? What if they decide to stop supporting it? Like there is all these questions. No, I'm not cool with any. I don't care if they patch it out in newer versions. Like you should not have that as a built-in ability for your console. Period. Like that, especially Nintendo. So anyone defending that is really fucking weird. Um, I would actually be. I'm trying to think where I would be okay with it. Like leaks are inevitable. I'm not okay with them, surprisingly. Like I love watching leaks. I'm all for that. But I'm also like, yeah, I don't know how else to do it other than all your servers don't go live until the day it's live. Fine. But if you have a physical game that's supposed to be physically able to play and you require the day one update, yeah, like I don't know. And Nintendo Prime is the guy. Jim, remember when I talked about the balls?
Hmm.
The balls in the mouth.
Oh yeah. Oh,
He's
he's a big
King Ball.
time.
He's King Ball Mouth. All right.
Hmm.
So, uh,
He's a
yeah,
guy that's visibly really trying hard to be a Nintendo ambassador. Like
yes,
super trying to hard to.
that he is a simp for Nintendo through and through, and that's fine.
How
His name has been.
how do you say preventing leaks is pro consumer? I will never understand how you think that.
I would make some analogies, but they're too
Ha-
wrong. So I'm
Bry,
not going to do.
how many hoops? How many hoops do you have to jump through, Bry? What's the hoop
I,
limit? If it's more than two, you're wrong.
I,
It's over.
I just and he keeps claiming with no proof he's seen people in their homes playing Mario Kart World. But once again, I don't know this guy from the fucking original guy who said it's a brick and it doesn't work. So for me, it's word for word, word against word.
And
Am
it
I
could
going to
be
trust a guy?
and it could be a lot of people too who are given special early review units or shit like that too. Maybe
Yeah,
he knows other influencers and crap like that. So
yeah,
people who are allowed to do it against the common man. Like at the end of the day, it's not a consumer's fault if a store lets them buy something early. It's not
yes.
their fault. They go, "Oh, cool, I have thing now." Why
Yeah.
are they being punished for the store being assholes?
Here's the deal: the fuck Nintendo's the empire, and I'm sorry, like whoever that did that original video or anyone that has early copies, you're dancing with fire with fucking Nintendo. They've gone after such smaller people for such stupider shit. So even if I had the opportunity and someone's like, yo, I have a Switch too, I would of course play it, but I would not be posting that shit. Like, of
Yeah,
course I'd want the views, but I'd also be like, oh yeah, I know Nintendo's gonna come after pretty goddamn hard whoever has this. So and I'm sure there's a way to track that shit down. So what's funny is, Jim, I actually do want Nintendo Switch 2, and I said, really, it's for Logan. Like, for that reason, like, I want to have a new console, play with them, kind of start like fucking around with a lot of those games more often. But who knows when I'll ever get one? Because I'm sure beyond the fact that pre-orders were sold out uber quick, and I don't know how long do you think it takes for them to be back in stock regularly? Because they come
yeah.
out Thursday, right?
It'll take at least a year probably.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll
And
see.
if you're listening to this and you're starting to be like, oh, but Nintendo, like, because I had a guy being like, come on, dude, be real. Nintendo just won't shut you off one day. It's like, in
It's
actuality,
Nintendo.
probably not. But if there's one company that's been less anti or more anti-consumer than anyone, or
It's
the little
Nintendo.
guy, it's Nintendo. Who was the one who was the most strict and had their stupid partner program on YouTube, or they would copyright everything? Who was the one who, destroys any fan game instead of trying to work with the people? It's Nintendo. Who's the one who started charging after 3 years because it was successful for something that was free to begin with? It was Nintendo. So it's like, don't put it past Nintendo to have a kill switch built in and not use it if they don't want to. Or if they just want to go, yeah, this is too old. People keep buying it off. Just
Yes.
brick the whole goddamn thing.
Yeah. Or, hmm. Eventually, in 10 years, when they make their next console, man, not enough people are buying this. They're sticking with Nintendo Switch 2. Let's change that. Same deal. All, like, yeah. And here's the deal. What's crazy to me is if that happened in 10 years, you'd still have assholes like this who would be like, but this is like the best thing for consumers that they have the ability to do this. Like they would justify it just because. So
It's promoting innovation.
it's forcing you to get rid of your antiquated hardware. That's why they have to resell you Super Mario Brothers 17 times. Come on.
So yeah, I don't like it. And one last thing, when is like piracy protections ever made the end user's experience any better?
Never. I
Tell
believe in
anyone out there if
innovation because of piracy is a real thing. We've talked many times. Napster, LimeWire. Stealing music was the best. Well, I don't know for the artist, but I will say for consuming of media, it forced them to figure out a way. I don't want to spend $15 on a whole album when I like one song. So what they do, figure out a way. What's a price point everyone can be comfortable with buying a song? 99 cents, a dollar? Fuck it. I'll buy it. Then came subscription services. Problem solved. I can listen to my song. They're getting paid. It might not be the same share, but guess what? I have literally no reason to go through the trouble of pirating this shit now because it's 99 cents. Fuck it.
yep, exactly.
Yeah. So,
So yeah, and I mean, it sucks to say 20 years later, like yes, Metallica was right when they were bitching about Napster. They were right to do it. But it's also a response to the record industry, like you just said, because
yeah, something
there's
had to change.
yeah, like there's no reason I had to pay $20 for an 8 song album. Fuck that.
Yeah. So, both parties, a lot of these topics, both parties can be right. You got to figure out that middle ground. So, I don't know. So if you do have your Switch, enjoy your brick. And if you're one of the special people that's not bricked, enjoy it.
And hey, you know what? If you're out there and you enjoy stuff that doesn't work anymore, why don't you put your money where your mouth is for a little piece of video game history? So, a couple days ago, Philo, Philotes, whatever the hell this account is on Twitter, they had a tweet that said one of the Concord devs donated their commemorative launch plaque to Goodwill, and I can't stop laughing about it. And it is the Concord logo with the PS5 disc in a plaque with the person's name on it and what they did. It was on Goodwill. Oh, it was removed.
It was
No.
removed. Oh, trust me, I clicked that link right away. It was on for $50 for a starting bid. It was pulled, and then in the link
Ah,
below,
fuck you.
there's a description. Now, granted, what the tweet says is that your bid was been retracted for the following item. The reason for retraction is unfortunately we were contacted by the rightful owner of this item today and informed that it was not donated by her but was given to us in mistake by someone who was not the rightful owner. This plaque is being returned to Chelsea. So then there's a lot of speculation. Did she just realize how much it could go for? And is she asking for it back to try to privately sell it? Or did she not think this through and maybe her name got out there? And as a developer, it's probably not good to do shit like that. Like, there's a lot of speculation here.
Some bad optics.
Yeah. So here's the deal there's multiple possibilities here. Maybe someone close to her did just say, ah, fuck it. She's like not even hanging this thing. I'm just going to get rid of it. Like maybe her mom or dad was like, get this shit out of here. I don't know. I don't even know how old Chelsea is. But is it kind of funny? This is one of the funniest things. I mean, for such a crazy, this goes down. Concord to me is in that same realm, not as high, but is like, the whole like ET, like in the dumpster from the Atari, like those copies. That's like what Concord is becoming in modern day. And shit like this, legitimately, there'll be a documentary. Like people tried to get rid of their fucking commemorative plaques. So yeah, as the founding free gunner North Star crew from the launch, that's fucking hilarious. So
And
the only
when
thing we
I was
know we
watching
can,
it for a while, last I saw it was around the 3,000 mark.
I'm
So
sure.
I would love to know what the hell that got up to at some point. Damn.
I yeah. Um, once again, I don't know what is actually going to be the most likely situation here. Did someone actually give it away and she found out and was like, yo, that's mine? Is she herself responsible and then realized, fuck, I can make some money off this. Let me pull it back. I don't know.
I like the
It's
idea of
hilarious.
Sony. I like your theory where Sony went to Chelsea and went, "Hey Chelsea, what the fuck?" And she went, "Oop, oh, someone stole it from me. It was stolen. I didn't do
Yeah.
that."
Yeah. Complete plausible deniability. Um, man, is that funny. Here's the deal. Like, I wonder if anyone else who got this though now has an idea. Like, if this starts, I mean, you probably want to be safe. Like, so I don't know if they'd be ballsy enough to just throw it up on eBay, but like, God, I hope things like this start popping up more and more.
And Brian, just think of this happened like 15 years ago. What Goodwill used to be, because back then someone would have put it in there, it'd been put on a shelf for $5 as some stupid painting, and someone would have bought it up and
Uh-huh.
had a piece of video game history for just the best of deals. Back in the golden age of Goodwill.
Yeah. I mean that yes. That that was the allure and a beauty. I think Goodwill going online killed Goodwills altogether. That's when
For gamers, definitely.
yeah, and even movies like dude, as the person who half my horror movie collection back there is from Goodwills and then they fucked me royally with that. And now, like, even near us, some of the Goodwills, like, standard pricing is like almost $5 for a DVD. I'm like, I'm not paying five fucking dollars for a DVD. Like, get the fuck out of here. So, yeah, Chelsea, I would love to hear her real take on this. Like, I want to know so
You
bad.
never will. You'll never get the honest
I know,
answer.
I know. But goddamn, could you imagine if you did happen to walk through a Goodwill and like you saw something like that? Like, even if it was a fake, I'm telling you, I'd buy it. If it was like $5, $10, I'd be like, let me pick this up.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Like if I saw, because it's funny because a lot of like people we follow on Twitter were like, does that mean I can start selling off my like release plaques and get $5,000 for it? And like, some people were like, they have shitloads of like sports games that they worked on, and they're all worthless plaques basically.
Yeah,
But you get a plaque for it. So yeah, that's kind of hilarious. Like Pandora's box. Like maybe a brand new side of gaming just opened up for collectors.
I
Like
think it did.
fuck your
You'll
wad of
start
seals.
seeing,
Get that plaque, baby.
well, yeah, and that's the thing is you'll probably see shit for games that like, oh man, I worked in Call of Duty. Like, no, this is unique because it's fucking Concord. Like a random just good AAA game is not going to fetch you anything. That's like when the VHSs had that thing. What was it? The
The
Black
Black Label
Diamond,
Disney,
Black, yeah.
Diamond Disney, yeah.
Then everyone thought all of a sudden, I have VHSs. They must be worth something. It's like, no, it was a very specific thing.
And even
And
then, the Black Diamond, like it was like one stupid like Reddit tier article of its time that said that. Because I guess some phony fucking eBay auction went up and everyone started, oh God, they're all worth something. Like I think I have like 10 Black Diamond Disney tapes that are worth nothing. Because I saw them at a
yeah.
Goodwill and went, oh, I gotta buy these.
But Chambers, let's move away from the sad side of gaming and move on to what I would call a good side of gaming. Speaking of VHSs and movies, uh, as the article will talk about here from Digital Trends, the Criterion collection of video games is finally here. And it's coming to us from Lost in Cult, a design studio that announced their new physical game label called Editions, which will release prestige editions of beloved games that include the actual game itself, the original box art, but then like 40-page booklets, extras, posters. Like these things are just anytime you see a collection of special edition of games, imagine that. But um, I guess like Criterion, they're trying to focus in on
The art house stuff.
the art house stuff and what they consider the more important games, which is interesting because the first three games of the first wave are Immortality. Thank goodness you're here, and Excavation of Hobbs Barrow. I've heard of Immortality. I've never heard of the other two. So, to your point, it's very art housey. the labels look cool, the stuff that goes in it. Like if these games are what you're into, I think it's pretty cool. I just yeah, I don't know if I quite equate it to Criterion because like I know what they mean when they say it, but I don't know. What is your take on this?
So it's right now, like the cynical side of me is hitting the floor running because
I'm a little worried.
this is easily could just be another new twist on the limited run formula. And
That's what
it
I was a
just
little
be
worried about.
that kind of thing where you go and you make a new edition and you go, oh, this could be the super rare one that's super fancy and you need to have it if you're a true like gamer and fan of the like the art behind it and all that crap. Now, this is brand new. So there's nothing here to say that it's a scam or any bullcrap like that, but it's got to build the prestige within the community. Like Criterion Collection, it's been around for a long time. And that just it all it is a video licensing home video thing, but they had a certain brand they went with, they appealed to a certain type, and they became the name kind of thing. Like it's almost more of a Hall of Fame than even being in like a cinema Hall of Fame. And it's been around since 1984. So I didn't even hear Criterion until like the 2000s. So it didn't even cross over until like the normies after like 20 years. So if this is going to be a legit thing that puts out these, high showpiece kind of games, you got to let it simmer and you got to let it take a while. It can't be a thing that you just sit there and go, oh, well, this has to be it, or this is just bullshit immediately. The market's going to basically decide, unfortunately. Now, of course, I'm sure versions of the games that go in here are going to start being scalped for crazy money, games you never heard of before. And these are smaller titles that probably didn't really have physical editions anyway, so it's just a cool way to have them for this. But I like the idea. I'm not going to poo poo it. I like the idea. And I hope it turns into like an actual kind of prestige thing.
Yeah. And I kind of like you, I was always unsure exactly what it meant to be part of the Criterion collection because they have like, yeah, art house films, but they also have like a lot of random like fucking Godzilla movies and like other miscellaneous. So I'm like, they're not all art house films. They have fucking La Bamba in there. Like, I I never quite understood what it actually meant, but the part of me that is hopeful is these collections, they're unique enough. They're offering a lot of shit, but yeah, my alarm immediately went off. I'm like, "Ooh, this feels very close to limited run." So, the only thing I didn't read was there no, there will be a limited number of copies for each platform, so fuck. Mm,
Hopefully,
that's
it is
worrisome.
just actually limited and not,
Not bullshit
limited,
limited.
quote
Yeah,
unquote.
like they're not that's not the selling boys that they're limited that they truly are. So I don't know. We'll see how this plays out. I like that they're more obscure titles, I'll say. Um yeah, we'll see where they go. Should
Yeah,
be interesting. I
very
mean, people
interesting.
listen, people will spend their money on some dumb shit, Joe. And why don't you take us through this week's normie view for what I would call another in a series of never ending weird shit people are willing to buy.
Yes, the normie view, where we look at the things that everyone's talking about and give our takes on it. A little break from the beer and gaming in the world, Brian. And in the Discord, like people are like, no, this has to be a crusty corner. This has to be a crusty corner. And I'm like, it would almost be too easy to be a crusty corner. So let's rein it in a little bit, and we're going to talk about soap, Brian. But not just anyone's soap. We're going to talk about soap being sold by Sydney Sweeney, and not just being sold by her, but it's being made with drops of her own bathwater. Now, Brian, we were both men, and we've all had women in our lives that we said, "Oh, I drink her bathwater." We've also said way more disgusting things on that too, but we'll leave it at bathwater for right now. And Sydney Sweeney is the hot girl right now. Like she's the number
Yeah.
one,
She's a Pam
blonde
Anderson of this
bombshell.
generation.
Yep. It had been a while since we had one. I don't think we really had one since like Kate Upton until Sydney Sweeney hit.
Yeah, that's a great point.
We
Yeah.
had we had us a buxom blonde drought, Brian. But we are back. We are back with a vengeance. And yes, Sydney Sweeney is selling her bathwater, kind of. The Emmy-nominated actress and Hollywood heartthrob is promoting a new soap that's made with a touch of water Sweeney took a bath in. 1 year after a bathing Sweeney appeared in a Dr. Squatch body wash promotion, the two have now collaborated to launch Sydney's Bathwater Bliss. So you keep asking about my bathwater after the Squatch ad, so we kept it. She wrote in a joint Instagram post, introducing the Bathwater Bliss, a very real, very limited edition soap made with my actual bathwater. For those looking to lather up, the limited edition soap will go on sale Friday, June 6th. Wait, right as this episode's dropping. You're welcome, everyone. From the past into the future, you are welcome. June 6th at 12 noon for the low, low price of $8 per bar, Brian.
It's a low,
So
low price.
only 5,000 bars of the soap will be made. Dr. Squatch will be awarding 100 bars to lucky bathers via giveaway on Instagram. And yes, it is made from pine bark extract, exfoliating sand, and droplets of Euphoria Stars bathwater. Uh, and it goes into the scent and all that other bull crap. Describes the product as a perfect combination of the two best places on the planet, the outdoors and Sydney Sweeney's bathtub. And a lot more corporate jargon, blah, 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 blah. I think it was fun, blah, 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 blah. No one cares. So, Brian, you know what this article is missing, though? It's it's not respecting the OG, Brian. No mention of Belle Delphine.
I was gonna say, I remember us covering. Who was the idiot that bought that bathwater too?
So Vito, he made a very viral video of him vaping the bathwater, but
That's what it was.
he didn't actually buy the bathwater. He just like made his own little cup and like vaped water basically, or just put like normal like clear vape juice in there. But everyone
Okay.
just saw like Vito is a big slobby looking, nerdy looking guy. They see him with the
He's the guy
videos.
that you would suspect would buy it.
Yes, he was the perfect guy to come up with a video like that. So yeah, it's a hilarious video too. But yeah, Belle Delphine, she was selling it I think for like 20 or $30 for one of her containers, and the internet bought them all up. They all sold out. So I fully expect the Sydney Sweeney ones to 100% sell out, Brian.
And and here's the deal. As someone who uses Dr. Squatch, we talked already about PFAs and all that shit. As someone who has a wife who's all about like get stuff that doesn't have a bunch of bullshit chemicals, she did her research. Like Dr. Squatch actually doesn't have that bullshit. Started buying it. They have some really cool scents. I'm gonna say that. They also always have crazy promotions. Like they did shit with Star Wars and fucking Minecraft, like all this crazy stuff. So I will say I do like their soaps. Period. Um,
Princess Leia's fart force. Buy your soap today.
as we've covered beer made with yeast from supermodels,
Yep.
we've covered beer made with the spit of the owner himself who actually chewed corn. Like
Yep.
weird shit like this is always made. Man, I don't know. While I think someone may try to buy it as like it's a joke, like I feel like most people who would buy it would probably be like, I'm just gonna keep this as a collector's item and hope it has value in the future.
Someone's
But the
buying two and beating
hard
off with one. You know it's going to
that's what
happen.
I'm more like, let's say there's 5,000 sold.
And that person's me.
I hope of that 5,000 sold, there's only like 100 that are legit like psycho. I'm going to beat off because this is Sydney Sweet. Like that crazy psychoticness of it. Like I hope it's only 100. That's from my normie view. I think anyone else who buys it, it's a novelty bullshit, or you're trying to collect it and resell it in the future. You're buying it for $8. I guarantee you, after they're all sold out, you could sell for $100 easily. Like a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
Then there's those crazy probably stalkers of her that probably will try to buy every one they can. So yeah, oof.
Bri, you know what? When you were bringing up all those other ones we've covered in the past, I've got my collections back here, Bri. But it feels like there's a hole in my collection. And the hole in the collection is the disgusting bodily infused meme collection things. I could have had the bathwater
You
container.
definitely
I
could
could have
have.
had the soap.
Actually,
I could have had the
Jim,
pussy
we
bear. I
need
could have a
to
shelf, Bride. I could have had a
here's
shelf.
I guarantee you, Jim, they're out there. We need to actually build you a crusty corner, and that's what you need to have is bodily bodily function products, whatever we want to call it. Um, hey, fuck it. I think trying to buy this is interesting. I didn't see. I know you can buy them on Dr. Squatch, but they're not available till the 6th or
Yep.
oh,
That's apparently when
okay.
it
So
drops. Yeah. They're doing a giveaway right now on like the socials, but you can't actually buy it until 12 noon on today, the 6th. Today, the future, today, release date. Hello, hi.
um yeah, I mean, all right, Jim. Skeptical me. Do you think they actually used her bathwater for this?
No.
I mean,
You know
would it
what?
be that crazy?
You know
Like
what? They
they
could
did
have.
a shoot with her. Like all they probably did was like say, get in here. They probably took literally the liquid that was left over and they just squirt it like a few drops into their regular process. Or maybe they just took the whole fucking whatever, how I don't know how many gallons is in a fucking tub, but they just dumped it into the big mixing thing that makes 5,000 bars of soap. So I don't think it's that crazy that they could have done that, you
You know what? No, you know what?
know?
I actually think
But
that
she
they did.
probably just like got in there. I don't think she, yeah.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead. What were you
think she
saying?
just like stood in there. She probably just like went and stood in the bathtub, and they went, "All right, we got it. We can't be sued for false advertising now." They probably took a picture and shit like that because you know there would be some freak out there who would start a class action going, "Wait a second, this isn't actually her bathwater." Now, I don't think that they were so forward thinking when they did their original promotion last year that they saved it for this reason, but they could always call her back. She's a spokesperson, so it's easy enough to do. So yeah, they probably actually did do it.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't think you're getting any clam juice essence in your bar soap. You're probably just gonna get some toe jam. That's the closest you're gonna get.
God damn it, Jim. God damn it.
Just being a realist here,
Well,
Bry.
um, Jim, the real question is, I think you and I, let's both sign up, see if we could win the giveaway.
Dude, fuck the Switch too. I want me my City Sweeney soap. That's
Jim,
a way better thing that's harder
Jim,
to get,
if you won that, here's the deal. I bet after they all sold out, you might get enough to get a Switch too.
right? What if I do an even trade with some freak?
That's what I'm saying. It's like you got a Switch too. I got Sydney Sweeney soap. What are we doing here?
Let's make a deal.
So yeah, I want to hear you guys in the comments. I think it's novelty, it's dumb, it's silly. I think back in the day, if Pam Anderson, any other supermodel did it, sold out just as crazy. I'm actually, I hate to say this, I'm actually shocked this doesn't happen more.
You know what? You know that there is some online obsessed, marketing guy in a corner who's like, "Hey, I have an idea," and everyone else in the company had no idea about Delphine, so they're just like, "God damn, Johnny, that's just smart enough to work."
It's a smart, yeah, yeah.
Never
Well,
poo poo the
Chambers,
pervs out there. We're the innovators. We're the
Jim, we're gonna
trendsetters.
find you. We're gonna start building your crusty corner collection. But the real question is, I see you moved away from your fancy beer. Looks like you moved on. Is that a silver bullet I see in your hands?
Just some silver bullets. I didn't have a lot of fancy shit left over, so I got to put more on ice. But I got to say this about the volcano sauce. So on its own, a perfectly fine sour ale. If you want a couple different flavor sensations at once, it's not a bad one to try. It's not a must get, but it's good. But my recording room, my game room, it's like a 10 by 12 tops. And I keep the doors shut, try to reduce all the sound as we record. So when I went to get my new beers, I came in and I was like, holy shit, it smells like blueberries in here. Like the aroma from the beer just perfumed this entire room. So if you want something with some aroma, this is right up your alley.
Yeah. Similarly, sweetness of this, it's strong. I wouldn't call it overpowering by the time I got to the end of it, but this is drinking candy. This isn't, this is someone who truly would hate beer would go, ooh, this is delicious. So I don't hate on it. Most Angry Orchard shit's fine. The Bachbuster, though, I said I really enjoy, even though I know it's a spring summer style. Ooh, I don't know how it would do in the heat, but I enjoyed both of them a lot. So with that, guys, we want to say thank you all so much for listening and watching. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, comment below what you liked, what you didn't like, and make sure you hit the notification bell so we can see all of our shorts, our videos, whatever we release. And if you are listening on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, hit the subscription button. And if you leave us a 5-star rating, we'll read each and every one of your comments on these Power Hour podcasts. With that, we want to say have a good night, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers, everybody.